We're all spending more time than ever at home these days. Since the pandemic, I have noticed that my electricity bill have increased. How about yours? Today we're looking for solutions to decrease the electricity bill. And today I am here at Altair Solar to explore options of installing solar panels at your home. And I have with me Khalid Al Sharif. Khalid, would you please introduce yourself to us and give us a little bit of a background about your company?
Sure. First of all, thank you for having me today and allowing me this opportunity to explain to everyone how we could actually reap the benefits of solar and saving money. My name is Khalid Al Sharif, and I have a background in electrical engineering, and I started Altair Solar about 6 years ago. So I come from I used to work in the semiconductor industry, moved into the solar industry. I worked in the manufacturing of solar panels, so I have a deep understanding of the technologies and how which technologies would fit better in what situations. So also started, like I mentioned, Altair Solar 6 years ago. We specialize in residential and commercial solar installations, and we really aim for the best product out there to really make a difference for the customers, especially with today's pricing. Prices have gone down since I started in this industry about 10 years ago. With the tax credits out there, it's definitely a very good time to really consider going solar, especially that, as you mentioned, we're all spending more time at home, so our kids are doing online schooling, so our electric bills are on the rise for sure.
You touched based on the tax benefits. What are other benefits that you get when you install your solar panels?
It's a very good question. So basically, people install solar panels for three main reasons, or we can say 2 to 3 main reasons. So the main one is obviously financial reasons. The electricity costs are rising. If you looked at, for example, what you spend on a gallon of milk 10 years ago, today we spend obviously a lot more. So the rates have been going up, especially in California here, for the past 10 years at an average of 7 to maybe 9% on a yearly basis. So you're protecting yourself from that increase by installing solar panels, and you're also you could save almost up to 100% of your bill. So those are the financial benefits. Also, along with financial benefits, you could save the environment, because now you're using your house as a clean source of energy. We're not counting on fossil fuels. We're not counting on the changes of the oil prices out there that could affect our electricity, and as well as all the different factors that play a role in this. So you're producing clean energy, and you're saving money along the way. And also, you're getting a benefit from the tax, as a tax incentive. You get about 26% this year from the government in the form of a tax credit. So if you have a tax liability, you can save 26% of the system price, dollar for dollar. So that's a great benefit that will drop down to 22% next year, and then actually it's going to disappear right away. So this is the time to go solar. This is the time to do it before those tax incentives are gone, because that will push your basically investment a little bit, few more years if you waste that opportunity.
It's great to know. I did not know that the electricity bill increases by 6, you said, or 7% every year.
That's very a conservative estimate too. So like this year actually, one of the major utility companies here in Southern California, they're proposing a 19% increase.
19%.
19% increase, yes.
Okay,
yes,
so it's definitely the time.
It's definitely the time, yeah, especially with the incentives out there, the tax credit from the federal tax government.
So it's definitely beneficial for the person to install it. But my question is it really good for everyone? So if I call you today, would you right away recommend that I install solar panels? Who would it benefit the most?
That's a very good question, actually. Another good question. So today you're coming up with a lot of good questions. So no, the answer is no. It's not good for everyone. It doesn't fit everyone for a simple reason, because it really depends on your bill, how much money you spend every month. For example, somebody with a small house, or let's say a small bill less than $100, might not be a good fit for them. So we kind of try to break it down into 3 categories. We say if your bill is less than $100, you're probably not a good candidate. I'm going to elaborate. Between 100 to 150, you probably should take a look at it because it could be beneficial. More than 150, we say you probably should do it. So, and when I say you should or maybe or not a good candidate, what I mean by that is how much it's going to take you to realize your investment. So you're going to, let's say, pay off the system, whether you know, and we can go through the different financial ways of paying for the system, but let's say if you're going to pay for the system out cash, what does it mean? How long is it going to take me to realize that investment? What's the return on investment, right? So if your bill is more than 150, chances are, you know, you're going to actually realize that investment in 5 years. It could be less, it could be a little bit more. So meaning in 5 years you would pay that much in electric bills. After those 5 years, you know, your system's free. So if you're staying in the house for 10, 15 years, you know, maybe even 25 years, because that's the lifetime of the system. So the first 5 years you pay out for the system, the rest of the time the electricity you're generating from the solar system is relatively free. So, but when your bill is less than $100, we say that could take up you maybe 8 to 10 years. And then you're the expert, you can tell us how long it takes, you know, what's the turnover, how long people usually stay at home.
On average, a person stays for about 8 years in a home.
Right, so that's exactly what we're talking about there. So you're saying 8 years, so if your investment is going to take more than 8 years to realize, then it's probably not a good investment, right? Because then you would be ready to leave the house, you haven't really reaped the rewards of that investment. So that's why we say when your bill is less than $100, you're probably not a good candidate. Now you can do it because, you know, you care about the environment, or you could do it because, for example, you know, you're going to stay at your home more than 8 years. But again, most people, that's not a good investment. Between 100 to 150, it could be just right under 8 years. And then more than 150, you know, the maximum I've seen it is like maybe 6 or 7 years. So it's definitely a good investment for and the higher it is, the faster that investment it's gonna come. So like, let's say some people have $200, $250, $300, it will take them just 4 years to realize that investment. So it's definitely a good investment. Also, you're protecting yourself, like I mentioned earlier, from the rising cost of electricity, which is an important one.
Right.
So, but solar is designed to last you for 25 years. And those warranties are offered for 25 years to basically protect against the rising cost of electricity, as I mentioned.
Since you mentioned warranty, you said you provide 25 years of warranty. What does that cover? And a lot of people think that you need to go up there and clean them from dust. Does it really affect the efficiency of the system if you don't clean the dust? And is that included?
Good question, very good question. Again, another good question. So, so basically, let's just tackle it one at a time. So the warranties are 25 years. So the warranties are broken into two parts. It's broken into a manufacturer warranty and a labor warranty. So, and they're both 25 years. So, which means that if something happens to any component of the system, whether it's the solar panels or the inverter that's needed to connect to your electrical meter, so if anything goes bad, it's covered. We cover it. We take care of it between the manufacturers who will provide us with the parts, and then we go and basically replace the part or fix it at no cost to the homeowner. And also, the labor warranty covers also the roof leaks, which is very important because most of these solar panels will go on top of a roof. So, which means if there's any leak in the future that will happen, we're liable for it. We'll fix it. So this is all covered under that warranty. So, and you mentioned maintenance. Virtually, solar panels are maintenance free because there are no moving parts, unlike, for example, a generator, right? There's moving parts. Anytime you have moving parts, the chances are that they're going to break down, just like a car, for example. You know, how often you go to replace service a car. So solar panels are just basically just the solar panels and inverters, no moving parts. Inverters do every once in a while go bad, but that's why the manufacturers offer these 25 years warranty to protect against if an inverter goes bad, we replace it. But again, no moving parts. Dust is really not a big issue at all because the solar panels themselves are designed to actually operate even when they're dusty. So of course, if let's say it's not going to rain for 5 years in a row, then you definitely want to at least climb once every 2-3 years to clean them. But it does rain, and then the rain, because they're installed at a pitch, so when it rains, it basically cleans the panels. So it's not really needed to clean the panels. Some people think that it's a must, but if you look at your bill before and after cleaning the panel, it's very minimal, especially on a house. I mean, if it's a commercial property, you have, let's say, hundreds of panels, then yes, it might make a difference because every panel. But on a residence, an average of 20 panels, it can wait from season to season for the rain to come and clean them, and basically the difference is minimal, that you're not going to feel it in your bill at all.
So they're Self-maintained.
Self-maintained, basically, exactly. And there are monitoring systems that are sold and installed with those systems. So we do monitor the systems on behalf of the customers. The customer also has access to the monitoring. So if anything goes bad, a panel goes bad or an inverter goes bad, we get alerts, and we basically go out and fix or replace the part at no cost to the homeowner. So we know that when something goes bad, we know what happened, and we replace it. But as far as maintenance, like I said, it's almost maintenance free.
Okay. As a realtor, I know that selling homes that have solar panels on them that are paid is much easier than selling a home that the solar panel is not paid for. What are the different financing options that a person has, and which one would you recommend?
That's a good question as well. So there's typically 3 ways of paying for a solar system. So the easiest one is the cash, The second one is you can take a loan, and the third one is a leasing option. So, there are advantages and disadvantages, or pros and cons for each, right? So I'm going to go through them.
Do you do the 3 options?
We do the 3 options, but we don't recommend leasing. Because we don't think leasing is a very good financially sound option. So the only time that maybe leasing could make sense is if somebody cannot take advantage of the tax credit. So maybe they don't have an active income or whatever the situation might be, then the leasing company would own the system, would actually pass on those tax credit, or some of those savings back to the homeowner. But if you can take advantage of the tax credit, then it's better off that you pay off for the system cash or you take a loan. So that's why. So basically, obviously, the best thing would be a cash. As we say, cash is king, right?
Right.
So that's the best way to pay for a system. But generally, not everybody has at their disposal anywhere between $10,000 to $20,000, $30,000, depending on the system size, depending on your build. So sometimes a loan is actually a good option as well. So then that's kind of like an intermediate solution between leasing and cash. So it's great because you can take advantage of the tax credit. You take that money and you can pay it to the loan company to reduce your payment on the loan, or you can keep it to yourself and just continue paying the same amount. So that's also another way that customers do that. But like I said, this is when you pay cash for it, and when it's a loan, you own the system.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yes,
that's
you
the
own
difference,
the system.
right?
Exactly.
When you lease, you don't own it.
Correct.
But if you get a personal loan, then you own the system.
Correct. Loan or obviously cash, then you own the system. So lease is the third party, and it does sometimes cause some, and that's why I don't prefer it. It does sometimes cause issues when you're selling a house, and I'm sure as a realtor,
that's what
you've seen that. Yes, you've seen that. It does cause issues. Most of the time it can be resolved, but I've seen it, or I've heard in a couple of instances where the sale fell through because the lease couldn't transfer. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's always better to pay for it cash or take a loan, because you own the system. Just like, let's say, for example, you're going to take a HELOC or something to upgrade your kitchen, right? So basically, yes, you own the kitchen, right? Yes, you have money that you owe the bank, but again, you own the kitchen, right. So you can sell it and pay off the loan at any time. Mm-hmm. The same way you can think of solar. So that's why those are the preferred methods. And obviously, like I said, nothing beats cash, because cash is king. Then you're at least not paying interest, right? So then you realize your investment a lot faster. But again, interest rates are obviously, as we all know now, are very favorable. So you can get a solar loan with a very good interest rate, and a lot of customers do, and it's great. And the good thing about it, obviously, there's no prepayment penalty or anything. You can pay off those loans at any time. So a lot of people, they say they take a loan for 7 or 8 or 10 years, maybe 12 years, and they pay it off in less than that. So, yeah.
There are so many companies out there that installs solar, and a lot of them would tell you that if you ever move to a new house, or if you're planning to buy another house in 3 years, 5 years, you can take it with you. What do you think?
I usually don't like to bash competitors, and I will not name anybody, because I don't know of any good solar company that made that recommendation. That's a very bad recommendation. Just like, again, the kitchen example, right? When you upgrade your kitchen with nice, let's say, granite countertops or whatever the situation might be, are you going to yank this and take it to the new house? No. Obviously not. Yeah. The same thing with solar. You're not going to take the solar system with you because it's attached to the roof. Now it can. It's not, technically speaking, yes. I mean, somebody's going to say, no, I can take it. Yes, you can. You can take it off the roof. You can take the mounts off the roof and seal the roof and do all the good stuff you can. But why pay for that while you can actually increase the value of your house? Maybe offer your house at a little bit higher price because it has solar panels versus the neighbor next door selling his house without solar panels. I mean, I would prefer a house that has solar panels, not just because I come from the solar industry, but because also it's savings, right? Like if I move into a house and somebody tells me I have to pay $0, you know, for an increased value of maybe $10,000-$15,000, especially here in California,
right.
That's a very small amount compared to the you know, the sale price, right? You know, so it doesn't really make sense to move it, you know. So, and it's definitely not a good move. I wouldn't recommend it. We don't recommend that to our customers. Just leave it at the value. Or let's say if the house is paid off, right, in 5 years, or let's say you sell the house in 10 years. So for 5 years, the investment paid for itself. 5 more years, you actually you know, save money in your pocket. So even if you don't add value to, if you don't increase the house price, you know, to make up for the money that you paid for the solar system, you know, you're still actually saved up 5 years, right, worth of bills. You know? So yeah, again, it's not something that I would recommend or do. So.
And that is something you're gonna recommend to your clients when you meet with them, right? You're gonna consult and see how many years they're staying in the house. And
Of course, that's a very good question. We actually had a case where we had a customer who we felt that you know, is not a good investment for him because his bill was low, and maybe he wasn't planning to stay in the house for a long time. So we said it's probably not a good idea. So because we want to make sure that, you know, obviously. We're a solar company, we're in the business of making money, so we want to make money, but at the same time we want to make the right choice, or we want to make the good recommendation to the customer. So if it's not going to make sense for you to actually have a solar system, we're going to tell you it's not a good investment for you. So maybe when you sell this house, you move into the next house, maybe that's the time for you to buy a solar system. I'm sure to reach out to us, and we'll be more than happy to help you, because again, we want to make sure that to do the right thing for our customers. And you know, I'm in it for the long haul. I mean, you know, I believe that this is the future. A lot of people do. So, you know, solar is not going away anytime soon. Even when the tax credit's expiring, all that's going to do is just going to push your investment now. Instead of, for example, 5 years, it's going to be 6 years. But again, it's basically, if it's not the right time for you, we're not going to make that recommendation. You know.
Okay. So today I'm interested in installing solar panels. Where do I start, and what does the process look like?
Good question. So you call us, obviously. So you know, yeah, but you know, so it's simple. It's actually our process is very transparent. You know, so, and we actually advertise this on our website. So we say that we don't play any of the kitchen table, you know, pressure tactics on homeowner, like sign right now or this deal is going to be over. You can't get it tomorrow. You know, so. Obviously, there's no guarantees that you're going to get the same deal tomorrow with any company, because the prices could be up and down, but the prices typically don't change overnight, right? So if you don't sign today, you come to me next week, chances are you're going to have the same deal, maybe even better, because prices do drop all the time. So, so you call us, you tell us how you want to do this, and then whether you want to meet with us first, or whether you want to have a phone consultation, or whether you just want to deal with us via email. So we're open, we're happy, we tell you exactly which way you choose, we follow that, and then we could send you a proposal.
What do you look at before sending the proposal?
We obviously need to know your bills, so we ask for the last 12 months worth of bills. So once we do that, once we have that, let's say you decide to do that via email, we send you an email, ask you for the bills, you send us the bills, we run the numbers, we send you a proposal via email, or whether it's over the phone, we can also give you a lot of numbers over the phone, or some people prefer an in-person meeting first. Or now with COVID, obviously it's a different situation.
Right.
So, but you know, before that we used to, and I'm sure, you know, hopefully when things go back to normal, that could be another way. But again, it's up to the customer which way they prefer to go, and that's how we do it. So we take the bills, we analyze them, we tailor a custom tailor basically proposal for your house, for your needs, and we send you that, and then we discuss the details with you again, whether it's via email or the phone or via personal meeting. And we're a turnkey solution. We take care of everything. So that proposal, the number that you see is the number that you pay. I would say 95% of the time. Sometimes there are discrepancies because, you know, for example, you might need a main panel upgrade, or you might need roof work, which we can find out also before we finalize the deal. But sometimes, you know, very, very rarely the cases we can find out issues later on, and then we let you know about it. So, but most of the time, like I said, so the proposal will be set in stone. That's the price you pay, and that's a turnkey solution covering basically we pull the permit on behalf of the customer, we source the equipment, we install, we even file the utility application on their behalf. All they have to do is really, it's actually the hardest part in my mind is just paying, write an hour check. So kind of that's what they have to do.
That's the best part, right?
That's the best part, yeah, exactly.
So what areas do you serve here?
We serve mostly, all of Southern California. We cover Orange County extensively. We do work in Riverside County, San Bernardino, LA, and as well as San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's mostly Orange County. That's kind of like our bread and butter. But like I said, we end up going to a lot of the neighboring counties, about 50-60% of the time. So.
Okay. That was really useful information that we got from you today. I'm so grateful that I met you today and we had this interview. Hopefully a lot of people are going to benefit from the information you shared. So thank you for your time, and I'm going to share your details for everyone who has any question about solar panels in general. You can give Khalid a call, and I'm sure he's going to give you the best service. Thank you all for watching.
Thank you for having me, and I'm happy to help.